In this video, I'll walk you through the step-by-step process of installing Kali Linux 2024.4 in VirtualBox on a Windows 11 PC. In this video, I will show you everything you need to know to set up Kali Linux 2024 in a virtual environment. Stick around until the end to learn how to successfully install and run Kali Linux in VirtualBox. Without further delay, let's start. To install Kali Linux in VirtualBox, you must ensure that hardware virtualization is enabled on your PC or laptop. If it's disabled, you'll need to access your BIOS settings to enable it. You can confirm its status through the Windows Task Manager. With hardware virtualization ready, let's proceed to install Kali Linux in VirtualBox on your Windows 11 PC. Open your browser and download VirtualBox. Go to this VirtualBox official website. I will provide this website link in my video description. In menu option, click on Download button. In VirtualBox Platform Packages, choose Windows Hosts. It will start downloading the file. Now let's download Kali Linux ISO file from its official website. At the time of recording this video, the latest version is Kali Linux 2024.4. Scroll down and click on Installer Image option, then download Installer ISO files. After downloading both VirtualBox and the Kali Linux ISO, access your files in Download folder. Next, run the VirtualBox installer and follow the on-screen instructions to complete the installation. Here's the VirtualBox interface. You can see on your display after installation. To create a virtual machine for Kali Linux, click the New button. Give your virtual machine a name and choose the folder where all its files will be stored. Next, in the ISO image option, select the Kali Linux ISO file that you downloaded earlier. Set the type to Linux, choose Other Linux as the subtype, and select Other Linux 64-bit for the version. Unattended install option allows you to automate the installation process without requiring user input during the setup. Leave this option. In hardware, allocate the RAM and CPU cores for the virtual machine. I have 12 GB of RAM in my laptop, so I will assign 6 GB of RAM for Kali Linux, and CPU I have 4 cores, so I will assign 2 core for this virtual machine. For hard drive storage, allocate at least 20 GB, though more is recommended for better functionality. I'll allocate 26 GB to Kali Linux. Review the virtual machine summary and click Finish. The Kali Linux virtual machine is now created. Before we start, go to Setting. In General, select the Advanced tab and set the Shared Clipboard option to bidirectional. This enables clipboard sharing between Windows 11, the host OS, and Kali Linux. Then navigate to Display from the sidebar and increase the video memory to the maximum. After that, select Network. The default NAT option works fine for most setups. However, if you want the virtual machine to be accessible from another computer on the same network, it's better to choose Bridged Adapter. This assigns Kali Linux its own IP address, enabling remote connections via SSH. With that, the virtual machine configuration is complete. Click OK to save the changes. To start the virtual machine, click the Start button. Keep in mind that when you click inside a virtual machine, the cursor becomes bound to the guest OS. To release it and regain control of the host OS cursor, press the right Ctrl key on your keyboard. Now, use the arrow keys to select Graphical Install and press Enter to launch the Kali Linux installer. Select the system language, then your location, and then set the keyboard layout. In hostname, type your hostname and click Continue. Leave the domain name field empty and proceed. Next, create a user account for logging into Kali Linux. Provide a username that you will use to access the system after installation and set a secure password. Make sure to remember these credentials as they are essential for logging in once the installation is complete. Next, select the time zone and click Continue. When prompted for disk setup, choose Use the entire disk and click Continue, all files in one partition, and finish partitioning the virtual drive. Write changes to the disk, select Yes and click Continue. After completing the partition setup, the installer will begin installing the base system files for Kali Linux. This process may take a few minutes, so sit back and let the installation proceed. After a few minutes, you'll reach a screen where you can select your preferred desktop environment. For installation, you can typically proceed with the default settings. However, if you get this kind of error message during the process, here's a solution that worked for me. When the issue arises, go back to the software selection step. Deselect the top 10 tools and the default tools options, then click Continue. I will go for the default settings and select these two options. If I get the error, then I will deselect these two options. The installation process will take approximately 10 to 15 minutes, so sit back, relax, and let it complete. Install the GRUB bootloader to your primary drive, select Yes option, and click Continue. Finally, select the device for GRUB bootloader installation and choose the virtual drive. Ensure you do not select the Enter Device Manually option. If you choose the first option, Kali Linux may get stuck on a black screen after installation, and the GRUB bootloader will fail to load. After the installation is finished, click Continue to restart the system. In the VirtualBox menu, navigate to the View option and select Full Screen Mode. You will now see the login screen. Type your username, enter your password, and log in. Let's proceed to update our Kali Linux system to ensure everything is up to date. Open the terminal and type the command. Press Enter, and when prompted, enter your user password. This command will fetch the latest package information from the repositories, ensuring your system is equipped with the most recent updates and security patches. And this is how you can properly install Kali Linux in VirtualBox running on your Windows 10 or Windows 11. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. If so, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.